guys, it's Kristen, and this weekend I was at BookCon, so today I'm going to be sharing with you my BookCon haul. I've gone, I think, every year to BookCon minus last year because it was in Chicago, so I will leave a link to my past BookCon hauls and my convention tips and tricks video for you guys to check out. Without further ado, let's get into the book swag. The first day of BookCon, I went to the Scholastic I Read YA ticketed event, and they basically had a whole bunch of authors there who were signing books and giving them away. So the first book I got was All the Crooked Saints by Maggie Stiefvater, and she signed it. What I know about this book is that it is about miracles, unusual miracles. I have read a few books in the Shiver series, and I've heard a whole bunch about The Raven Boy, so obviously I need to check that out. But I hear good things about Maggie Stiefvater, so I think this is going to be definitely one to check out. The next book I got was Shadow Housefall by Daniel Jose Older, which is the sequel to Shadow Shaper, which I believe this is a book about a shapeshifter. The author also signed this book, so that's cool. Then I got The Knowing by Sharon Cameron, which is another sequel to a book called The Forgetting. This looks like it's about human memory. The cover is very beautiful as well. And this book is also signed. And then the last book I got at the Scholastic event was No Good Deed by Goldie Moldavsky, which is about a kid who goes to a summer camp for teenagers who want to help change the world. And I hope I'm going to enjoy it, but I will say I didn't actually like Kill the Boy Band that much. That was a book that I was very excited about based off of the description, and I didn't really love it. But I do have, you know, hopes for this one that I will enjoy it. The next book I have here is the only one that was actually bought out of all the ones that I have to share with you today, and it is The Trials of Apollo, Book 2, The Dark Prophecy by Rick Riordan. My friend bought it for me as a birthday gift, so this is the only one that was purchased. All the other books in this haul are ones that I got for free at BookCon. Very excited for Trials of Apollo. Love Rick Riordan. Love this series. It's so funny, and I've been waiting for this one to come out, so very, very excited to read it and get into it. And it's actually signed, so that's pretty cool as well. The next book I have is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, and I actually got this one for saying a password that I found on Twitter at the novel booth. And it's about humans who live in the fairy world. So that could be interesting. I also went to the Quirk booth, and if you said a passcode, also from Twitter, you could win either a tote bag or a book, and I ended up getting this one, the X-Files children's book. They also have, I think, an E.T. and Home Alone children's books, which is fun. You know, you take an iconic series or franchise and make it more accessible to a younger audience. The next book I got was There I Go Again, How I Came to Be Mr. Feeney, John Adams, Dr. Craig, Kit, and Many Others by William Daniels. So this obviously is Mr. Feeney from Boy Meets World. It's like a little memoir about him. The next book I have here is Strange Practice by Vivian Shaw, and she actually signed it. And it was cool because we got to talk to her a little bit, and she was saying that the idea for this book came about when she was trying to do like a writing exercise of how many classic vampire types of characters could she fit into one story, and she said, spoiler alert, it's just 3, but you know, she did say that there may be sequels in the future. Then I got Winter Stories by Ellen Hildebrand, and this is, I believe, the third book, right? It's like a third book in the Winter Street trilogy, and Aaron Hildebrand also signed it. It is funny though because it's like June, and this is a very wintry book, so I think I'm gonna have to hold on to this one for a little bit and read it when we get closer to like the fall and winter times. The next book I got was Jack and the Geniuses in the Deep Blue Sea by Bill Nye the Science Guy. This is actually the second book in a series about genius kids going on adventures. So how exciting is that? I think that's really fun that Bill Nye the Science Guy has like a middle grade series out. Mean Girls, a novel by Nicole Ostow, which is based on the screenplay by Tina Fey, and she also signed it. She said, stay fetch. This is gonna be cool, I think. You know, everyone loves Mean Girls. I'm interested to see, is this actually just a novel adaptation? Is there any liberties with this? Maybe not. Maybe it's just like a novelization of the movie, but very cool. There was one more book that I got on the first day of BookCon, and that was Jackie Haha, My Life is a Joke by James Patterson. My friend actually has it, so I have to wait to get it back, but that was another one that I picked up. Getting into day 2 of BookCon, one of my big goals was to go to the Lockhart signing, so I got Genuine Fraud and she signed it. But actually, quick little story about getting this book. So I ran to the Penguin, booth area so I could get online for this because I was like, I need this book. I read We Were Liars earlier this year and I really liked it. I love mysteries. Everything's chaotic as it always is at the Penguin booth area. Finally, they do put us in a line and they cut off right in front of me. And I was like, really? I'm so close. I really, really want this book. They were still counting. They were like, we're pretty sure right here will be the end, but we're not positive. But they made everyone else get off the line. But I was like, I'm the next person. So I was like, could I just stay here and wait and see if maybe you guys counted wrong? And they were like, fine. So I stood and waited, and they ended up having like maybe 3 to 6 more tickets, and I was like, thank God I stayed. And I mean, I don't know also why it took a really long time to go through everyone and get signed. I think I was there for like 2 hours or 2.5 hours, and I was like one of the last people to get the book signed, but I was just so thankful I made it through. But I just thought that was hilarious that like they cut off the line, and I was like, could I just wait a second? And then I got in. But totally worth it. I'm very excited to read this one. I think this is going to be the first book that I actually read out of all the books that I got at BookCon. The next book I got was There's Someone Inside Your House by Stephanie Perkins. Only disappointing thing about this is that I realized it's not actually a full book. It stops in the middle and it says at the end, discover like what happens next for yourself. Like, you want to read the rest? Tweet and we'll maybe send you the full book. So I was a little disappointed because this book actually sounded really, really interesting to me, and I wanted to read it first, but I don't want to read something that's going to cut off in the middle and then I can't finish it because this book doesn't come out actually until September, What can you do? Still very exciting. The next book I have is The Forever Summer by Jamie Brenner, and this book is signed. From my understanding, I believe this book is about a woman whose life kind of gets all shaken up when one day a woman arrives at her home claiming that she's her stepsister, and then they end up going on this big trip to Cape Cod, and it just kind of changes her whole life. So it definitely looks like it would be a great summer beach or pool read. So maybe that is what I will save it for. Another book I picked up, which, I mean, I guess it's a book. I got this collector's edition, Entertainment Weekly, about The Walking Dead. It's just kind of like an exclusive Walking Dead themed Entertainment Weekly. The next book I got is The Golden Compass by Philip Pullman, and it actually comes with this cool little limited edition collector's print, so I'll show you guys that. Next, I got these 2 cooking books. This is Simply Sweet Decked Out Donuts, 125 over-the-top treats that take the cake. And then I got Damn Delicious, 100 super easy, super fast recipes. And actually, someone on Bookstagram was telling me that they really, really love this cookbook. So, maybe I will start diving into cooking more things and try it out. The next book I have is Vanilla by Billy Merrill, and I believe this is an LGBT story about 2 people who have been in a relationship for a long time and now they're starting to see like differences that might pull them apart. Something that's also unique about it is that it looks like it's written in verse, so this will definitely be a different type of read. The next book I have is Girl in a Bad Place by Caitlin Ward. I'm a little bit confused, but I think it's about a girl who might be trying to save her friend from a cult. The next book I have is Otherworld by Jason Segel, and this seemed really cool. The description sort of reminds me a little bit of Ready Player One. It sounds like a virtual reality video game type of story, and I really enjoy books like that, so I think I'm going to really like this one. And then the last book I have here is Final Girls by Riley Sager, and this also sounds really interesting about, like in a scary movie, like in Scream, everybody dies, but then there's always like that final girl who makes it out at the end. This book seems like it's about all the different final girls of different, murder plots who now are being targeted again. And so it's like, who will be the final girl? You know what I'm saying? So I think that sounds really, really interesting, and I'm excited to check this one out as well. And I'm hoping, based off the description and what it sounds like it's about, that it will have a lot of those like classic horror movie tropes that make that like kind of cheesy horror movie genre so great. And then two other exciting little things that are not books but are book related that I was really excited about this year were Captain Underpants 20 Epic Years pin. My childhood is Captain Underpants. I had all the books. I want to see the movie because I think it's going to be hilarious. You know, I just grew up with it. And then I got this cool Anna and the French Kiss chocolate cherry bomb tea from Owl Crate, which props to Owl Crate, who for both days of Comic-Con didn't run out of anything and had swag forever. I think the first book I'm going to read is probably Genuine Fraud by Lockhart. I'm also really excited for Otherworld and Final Girls. I'd say those three are like the ones that I'm most excited to read. I'd love to know what you guys thought about BookCon this year. I will say I do think that I have had better hauls in terms of like getting more books in past years, and I don't think that they had as many arcs or as many giveaways going on this year as they have in the past, but that was just my perspective. I still had a great time and I still got a lot out of it. I mean, my whole thought process on BookCon is like, you go 2 days, it's $30 each day. If you get 4 free books, you've paid for your tickets already, you know? Like, so I feel very lucky that I was able to find these books because I'm a person who doesn't go to the panels. I literally just go around for the books because I'm excited to read them and see what's coming up. I would love to know how you guys enjoyed BookCon this year. What books did you get? What books were you most excited about? What are you reading first? Make sure to leave a comment below and let me know. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and click that subscribe button because I come out with new videos every week. See ya!